there is tired and then there is academic tired. Academic tired is the one where carrying your notes feels like the hardest thing to do. Like your brain is going on strike mode. That means on strike mode. You don't feel like doing anything, but at the same time, you just want to be productive. You want to do something, anything. I can relate, and you have clicked the right video because I'm going to be giving you tested and trusted tips that have worked for me, and I'm sure they're going to work for you too, just so that you can do something when you don't feel like studying, no matter how little the time. Because at the end of the day, you cannot compare a 30-minute study session, for instance, to spending 1 hour scrolling aimlessly on social media. So let's get right into the video. The first thing first is passive studying. I know I'm such an advocate for active studying, active recall, like taking studying as a serious business, putting your all in it and not just staring at the books. But when you don't feel like studying, passive studying is better than nothing. When you can't focus or when you don't even feel like carrying your book, right? Passive studying includes things like maybe watching YouTube videos about that particular topic, or if you're not really a fan of watching videos about subjects that are taught in classes, the one thing that I do is I throw questions at ChatGPT about that topic. So if I'm studying something that has to do with ownership, for instance, I'm asking ChatGPT, tell me the types of ownership that we have, and sometimes I'm putting like in one paragraph, in one sentence, because I mean she can be very extra like me. Just joking, I'm not extra, guys. There was a video I spoke about productive tools, that is like applications, software applications that help you with your academics, and I spoke about Speechify. So another thing you can do is like upload your notes, upload your slides on Speechify, and then you read it out to you like you're listening to something like a podcast or a message or something like that, right? And if you're somebody that records your lecturer's voice notes in class, maybe because you don't write or you write slowly or your attention span is low, and you record, instead of listening to the lecturer's voice and now making a note, you can just listen to it like a podcast, right? You'd be surprised how much your brain can still retain of information even when you do not give it full attention. Number two thing I'm going to recommend is for you to set a lazy timer. So you know how like when you want to study, you have to like sit down and study for like 1 hour, 2 hours, and all of that, right? Setting a lazy timer is like the Pomodoro technique, but in this case, there's no rule to it being 25 minutes study session, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes study session, 5 minutes break. You can just study for 15 minutes. You can study for 20 minutes. You can study for 45 minutes, right? The one that has worked well for me though, because it's 45 minutes, because I just don't know how to say I'm going to study for 10 minutes. I'm going to spend 10 minutes learning the definition of one sentence. So I do like 45 minutes, right? And then, I take break or I don't. You realize that sometimes when you tell yourself, oh, I want to study for 7 minutes and take break, even when that time is up, you find yourself still doing more. So sometimes I say, let me study for 45 minutes and then I study for 50 minutes or 1 hour. So set a short time, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and say, I want to focus on one page. Chances are that if the 15-minute time is up and you're not done with that page, you might not leave it until you're done with that page. And at the end of the day, studying for maybe 30 minutes is just always better than not studying at all. You agree, right? Then the third thing I'm going to advise you to do is to focus on one thing, one textbook, one note, one PDF, one slide, one topic. You do not feel like studying. You're unmotivated to study. So I see no reason why you should now be carrying like two textbooks, opening a textbook when you've not even checked out the notes, right? I see no reason why you should be studying with just complex materials. Focus on one thing, one topic, one page, one PDF. This is not the time to be carrying numerous things. Whether it is a topic that you've read before and you want to just revise and just go through it, or it's something that you want to study for the first time, don't overwhelm yourself trying to cram the whole notes because, oh, you want the day to count. You just want to study for 20 minutes. So you want to cover the whole topic in 20 minutes. Just focus on one thing, one past question, one topic, one this, one that, one book, one time, one at a time. Yeah. Then the last thing I'm going to advise you to do is to rest without guilt. If you say you want to study for, let's say, 45 minutes, for instance, because 45 minutes study session is always better than 20 minutes or 1 hour aimless scroll through social media. So if you study and that time is up, if you genuinely feel like continuing, if genuinely you do not even feel like dropping it, like it's not like you were checking the time for 45 minutes to be up, please continue by all means. And if the time is up and you genuinely do not feel like studying anymore, please drop it, because guilt does not make you smarter, it makes you tired and sad. If you dedicated 20 minutes to study and 20 minutes is up and you don't feel like continuing, it's better to leave it and rest, sleep, eat, take a break, do something, right? So that you come back to it stronger. Finally, you don't need to be in the mode. You just need to set systems in place for when your brain is unavailable. I'm going to say that again. You don't need to be in the mode to study. You just need to set systems in place for days where your brain feels unavailable. So when my brain feels unavailable, I could just, take siesta and tell myself that when I wake up, I'm refreshed and I'm going to study. I could just tell myself, okay, before I sleep and just waste this whole day, let me study for 30 minutes and just make it count for something, right? Or let me just be asking ChatGPT question, let me do this or let me do that. So passive learning counts. 10 minutes is enough. One topic is better than none, and rest is not a crime. The best time to subscribe to this video was 1 minute into the video. The next best time is now, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Bye.